like glowing. If you're getting them, I'm getting them. Hi, hello, and welcome to The Bookish Life.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Tori. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to be an influencer, how to get started. Is that the right title?
How to start a bookish social media account.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, I don't know if I consider myself an influencer. I just like talk about books.
You influence people to read the books.
Yeah.
That you talk about.
Which is true.
It's weird to call yourself an influencer.
Yes.
Because my dad called me that, and I was like, I'm not that. And Alex was like, yeah, you are.
I mean, because, like, we are influencing people to read books.
Yeah, but we're just talking about, like, books that we like and don't like.
Yeah.
It's not like we have to fake it or anything like that.
We're definitely not in it for the money. We just are in it for what are you going to say?
I was like, I don't make a lot of money from YouTube. I don't make any money from Instagram. I don't even know you can make money from Instagram.
I think just from sponsorships, and I've rarely had Instagram sponsorships.
Yeah. You can make some money on YouTube with certain sponsorships.
Yeah, so
and ad revenue.
Yeah. But
that's not a lot.
Do not become a bookish content creator for the money.
No.
And I think that, like, when you join, you want to join to genuinely share your love of books, and that is what people will follow you for. So we're going to talk about, like, tips on how to get started, because I know that there's plenty of people who are interested in joining YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and they might be like
intimidated.
Yes, I was like, I don't know what word I want to use.
Yeah.
Good job. They might be
Thank God.
They might be intimidated.
I know a fucking word this time that Jess doesn't know. This is great.
Yeah. And so we thought we'd give you some of our tips to see, and I mean, like, to get rid of some misconceptions too about, like, what you need to get started.
Oh, yeah.
Because literally, I started my YouTube channel. I did everything on my phone.
Yeah, I started on my phone too.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, how do I say this? If you want to do it, do it. Don't be scared of, like, oh, what are people going to think about me when I start? Oh, my quality's not what my channel is or your channel is. It's like, you've been doing this for almost 10 years. I've been doing this for 3 years. But I will say I have a husband who knows all of the techie stuff on the other side.
There are for sure channels that have much better quality than my videos.
Of course.
Like, technologically. Yes.
Of course, yeah. So it's like, don't be intimidated, because I know, like, I started on my phone and you can make it look great.
Yeah.
Like, you have a camera. You just have to have, like, the right things. And like, I talk a lot about a lot of things, but I'm just fortunate that I have, like, I've always said this, I have Brandon on the other side of it. But there are people on YouTube right now, some of my friends, that have a, what do you call it? Like, how to get started on YouTube?
Yes.
Brie has a huge one that I loved when she did it. Jess from Honest Fiction has one.
Yes. Doesn't Avery have one?
I think Avery has one.
Yeah.
I know she has for sure a thumbnail one. That was super helpful.
Yeah.
Considering, like, that, I feel like a lot of people struggle with thumbnails in general getting started. But for the YouTube side, we do have a lot of friends that have videos already that, if I remember, because I'm editing this episode, future Tori, don't forget to put those in the description box on YouTube. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm gonna hopefully try and remember. But yeah, do you want to start with Bookstube or Bookstagram?
Maybe Bookstagram, because I feel like that's less intimidating than Booktube. I take all of my photos on my phone for Instagram. Yeah, by the way. You do too.
I do all of my photos on my phone. I use portrait mode, unless it's like I'm already filming and I'm holding a book.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just use my camera, like, as I'm taking thumbnails, I'll just hold up a book just because my camera's already there.
Yeah.
But that's, like, you really can't even tell the difference in the quality between those two photos. Like, if I told you that, you'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, you don't have to show your face. A lot of people, I was one of those people. I've said this before in a previous podcast episode, that I had a podcast because I was terrified to show my face online, because I was like, I didn't want people to judge me. I didn't want people to, like, see what I looked like. Like, I didn't feel like I fit in or something like that.
Yeah.
This is more specifically on YouTube, but even on Instagram, I never showed my face.
So we have a couple friends who never show their faces. And one specifically, it is for her job because she works in a school.
Yeah.
And she's killing it. You can really build your own account and not have to show your face at all.
No.
A lot of what makes her account successful is the way she talks about books and her interaction in the community too. I mean, she has gorgeous photos.
Yes.
Do not get me wrong. And we're not going to name her just in case, like, people are like, oh, now I'm going to look into see, like, who this is. And like, no. So, but she definitely does not put her face on there because of personal reasons.
Yeah.
Which is totally valid. I mean, I worked in a school for 8 years and they found out about my account like 3 years into doing it. And I was very fortunate that my admin knew about it. They were completely fine with it. But there's definitely schools that would have a problem with it, especially because it's romance, if you're into romance reading. But a lot of people will think they need to have gorgeous shelves, a big book collection to start.
You don't.
No.
Nope. Not at all. I had like a tiny little shelf when I first started. Like a tiny little 3 shelf thing. And I didn't have any of these books when I started.
If you're wanting to start on Instagram, you have a phone.
Yeah. Most people have a smartphone.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can start taking photos. You can pay for editing apps, or I still primarily just edit in the Instagram app itself.
Do you really?
100% yes. Unless it's a face photo, I edit completely in app. I have a Lightroom subscription for signings because the lighting at signings is horrible. So I keep
put
that
everything
for that.
in Lightroom.
No, I don't.
Interesting. I never knew that.
I just edit directly in the app. If you go to your photo and you click edit on the lower left corner, it'll take you to like all the things where you can do the brightness, you can do the color warmth, saturation, everything. And so that's what I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But you can edit, I know for iPhone, I can't talk for Android because I know, but in iPhone, in the camera app, you can edit that way too.
Yes.
So I don't even know how to use the Instagram editing stuff. Like I don't like using that, but I would use sometimes I would use the like brightness and saturation in the iPhone camera app.
So some people do pay because Lightroom's like $7 a month.
I don't know how much it is. Yeah.
Like some people pay for apps. So you don't have to. You don't have to pay for anything. So if you want to start an account and you don't have a huge library, what do you take pictures of?
The book individually, or an iPad.
What if you don't own the book?
Or an iPad. If you don't have an iPad, you have to use your phone. If you don't use your phone,
you can take photos of library books. They look the exact same way as normal books, right? I use my Kindle. Like I just posted a photo of a book on my Kindle. Yeah. Like
I feel like a lot of people now, I never had a Kindle more until recently. I had an iPad previously. So a lot of people don't have an iPad, but you have a Kindle. You can like superimpose, even on camera, on the free version, you can superimpose the picture of the book on your Kindle.
Yes.
A Kindle Fire. Sarah does that sometimes too.
Yeah.
I never realized
And
that.
I will say like just pay attention to like what you're using as your background. But you can use things literally around your house.
I use a blanket.
Like I was just like, so Tori has this white rug. You can 100% use that. I know people who use that as a background.
Yeah.
I use my comforter on my bed.
Comforter.
And I used to have this pink blanket that I would use, and then I got bored with that. So now I use my cheetah gray blanket that I use. And it just depends on what you want in your background. But like some people, you can buy backdrop stuff like on Etsy. But
or
like,
you go to the Dollar Tree and make one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people did that.
Yes.
For a while.
And so you don't have to spend any money whatsoever. But if you want to, you can buy different stuff. So like I know people buy like fake flowers, or you can even like rip up an old book for pages to lay in the background. I know some people are worried about having like some sort of like aesthetic or theme, which I still stick to like the same kind of like shade of photo, because it'd be weird if I had like a really cool tone photo and then like a really warm tone photo. I know you do that too. You have a very like vibrant, bright kind of aesthetic.
I turn every single photo I have, I turn my saturation up.
Yeah.
Just because I personally like that pop of how everything looks more vibrant.
And I guess it was more so like back in the day of Instagram, I would see people like change their theme
every season.
It wasn't every season.
Oh, I've seen people do it every season.
But like you've changed.
When I started showing my face, I kind of was like, okay, I want to move away. I just had like a pink blanket. Everything was pink. I had pink pumpkins, pink flowers, pink blanket, all that stuff. So I wanted to like change that and move forward into just something different, because you can get stuck in that way. Like sometimes it gets like boring or whatever.
I used to have a white sheet behind everything, and now I use my gray comforter. So,
So it like to change it up is fine, but like you have to think about it. Like if you look at your profile, and people who have beautiful aesthetics for their profile that you can go and scroll, and it all like cohesively looks together and it's beautiful. I wish I could be like that, but like I can't. The only thing that's consistent is the vibrancy. That's pretty much it on mine. But like you don't have to, because if you think about it, people are just gonna see it on their like homepage if they follow you.
Just your one photo.
Yeah. So it's okay if you do things differently. And that took me a really long time to realize that like you don't have to stick with that or whatever. But also like you don't have to show your face. Of course, face photos get more popular.
They do.
More likes, I should say. But it's because people want to know who's behind.
Yes.
But like our one friend that we were talking about, she talks about books in her captions. You know her personality.
Yes.
Like you know if you talk to her in person, the way her captions are, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And that's the huge thing about Instagram is that, yeah, it's pretty photos, but it's your personality that people are going to want to follow. And it's you as a person and like your reading taste and how you talk about books that people are going to want to follow. So, and I think that's across all platforms is people follow you for you and not necessarily like, I mean, it is the content you're putting out, but it is you as a person first and foremost. So just make sure that you are being yourself and sharing like what you're genuinely excited for, because like I get excited when like my friends are excited about something. Yeah. And then I'll read it and that'll influence me to read it. So yeah.
But like even I know a lot of people for Instagram will talk about Reels. For some reason, Reels have been doing so fucking good, and it is frustrating because I love taking photos,
and Reels just take so much more time and effort to put together.
Sometimes they don't. I can take a reel that's like 10 seconds of me flipping through a book with like a quote, and that will go crazy, or I can spend all this time on like a face reel and it gets not like a lot of likes. So honestly, it's the algorithm, and I don't have any like.
Do not become obsessed with the numbers either, or else you will go crazy. I post something and I'm like, there it goes. My photo yesterday got like 150 likes.
That's the max I usually get. So
that is so bad. For context, I have 32,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And my photo got 150 likes. Yeah. Because Instagram is just not pushing a lot lately. And not on mine specifically, if it's just like a basic book photo, it's not doing well. But I'm not posting for the likes and for the followers. I mean, like I'm genuinely posting books that I'm excited to talk about, that I want to show people. Yeah. And so don't let that really get to your head. I barely look at my stats. I'll look at like what's doing well versus something else. Yeah. But I'm not going to like obsess over numbers.
It is normal to obsess over numbers though.
Like, but it can turn really unhealthy.
Yes. And I have to sometimes I'll text you and be like, I have to take a step away of like looking at both on YouTube and Instagram. It's literally across every platform, right? I have to sometimes be like, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter, the likes, because the people might see it and I might have impressions like, you know, it says how many people have seen it or viewed it, but not liked it. Yeah. You know, I'm like, if someone sees that one photo, didn't like it for whatever reason, they just saw it and scrolled, but they picked that up because they saw the cover. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Like in my head, I have to like justify it that way. And it's because it can get so unhealthy that sometimes I just want to be like, fuck everything. I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. Because I feel like I'm not growing but I'm having the best time talking to people on Instagram. Like I can't tell you how many DMs I get of like just random people that follow me, and I'll start a conversation and I'll follow them just because I had that conversation with them, and they don't even post book photos. But I'm like, yeah, I like it.
That is the best thing about Instagram for me, is the community and being able to talk to people. Yeah. That's why I love Instagram so much. Because like YouTube, I love YouTube, but it's not really like I can chat in the comments.
But it's not. It's different.
It's very different than like having a full-blown conversation in your Instagram DMs. Yeah. And seeing what your friends are doing in their stories and responding to people's stories and really just fostering relationships on Instagram. Yeah. Is my favorite. So like, and I mean, that's how we met.
This is how we met.
You just like, I know some people are scared of how to interact with other people and like make friends in the community. You literally just start messaging people. And like sometimes you'll really hit it off and find like you have a lot in common and just start chatting. If someone doesn't respond to you, don't take it personally. I mean,
because you have to remember, if that person, like if someone messaged me and I don't follow them and they're just a follower of mine, I don't go through my requests. I maybe do it once a week. Okay. So it takes me a while. Yeah. To like see, oh shit, there's a message there. So it's like, am I ignoring you? No, not on purpose. Right. But if we've messaged before, it goes in my like general, like in my inbox. Like it will show me as a notification that I have something, like someone's waiting on me. So yeah, Instagram is really good if you are just having fun. Like don't take it too seriously. And I say that, it's like, oh, of course you guys are going to say that, like whatever. But like when I first started posting, I don't think I paid attention to the numbers. I was just like, oh my God, I really want to take this really cool photo, or I had this idea, like, let me see if I can make it play out. Like if I can make it look the way I want to in my head, because I'm not super artistic that way. Or like graphics are doing so well, and you don't have to show your face at all for this. No, you can just go into Canva, the free version. You don't even have to pay for Canva.
I love the paid version of Canva. There's an endless amount of things, but true.
But you don't even have to pay for it, and you can create your own graphics. Like you don't even have to have a nice phone to take photos. There's someone who, like, I talk to her all the time, and she makes these like aesthetic photos on Instagram of like books that she reads, and that's how she talks about books too.
I will say be aware of copyright though if you are doing aesthetic posts, because like you technically don't own those, and I don't know if there's going to be a point where like someone gets in trouble for doing that because you are posting it to your account and you don't have the rights to that photo.
Like if you go on Pinterest and
take a photo that you don't own.
Like that's legal, where authors will make a Pinterest board because it's like a compilation.
And you can see the trail of where that photo's from.
Yeah, you can see where like it's linked to. But like if you're taking like a screenshot of that and putting it in your post, that's just something like I didn't know that at the beginning.
Like I have made stuff from photos from Pinterest. Yeah. Fully, yes.
Because
now I don't.
Yeah. But then also at the same time, stock photos, every single stock photo costs money and people can't do that. So,
a potential option is we have a subscription to Envato, which we use for our business. But I have also, and have you taken some for your own personal account?
No, because I don't really do those aesthetic things.
I just did like my first one and I used 2 of them. And I made sure to take them from Envato because like we have a paid subscription for it. I mean, because especially for like a business, of course, we have to like own the photos.
For sure.
But like my personal thing, now I'm a little bit wary about using, I mean, it's your choice, but just be aware of using photos you don't actually own.
But I'm also not good at making those, so.
Right. And mine did horribly. So I was like, I don't know if I'll do it again. It was cute. I liked it.
I put so much time and effort into that one, that trend that was like the run boy run.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one, that sound that went over.
That took forever to find photos.
Oh my God. I love seeing everyone's, but I was so bad at it. It took forever to line everything up. I was so frustrated with that. I was like, I don't want to do this.
Well, and so I think we're already 20 minutes and we've only talked about Instagram, but you can definitely pick up on trends when you see like a lot of people doing it. Jump on the trend when you see it happening.
Yeah, why not?
So like you did, I'm a ho 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 for, and all these character names. And I don't know if I've seen anybody do that specific saying. I think you made that up, the I'm a ho 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 one, right?
Well, I have my sweater that says a ho 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 for smutty books.
Yes.
And I was like, I'll just do that.
But like a lot of people are doing different things with graphics, with character names. So you did your own spin on it. Yeah. And so, and like that other one where you're talking about that Run Boy Run song, like we all ended up doing it. I recently did the books as my name.
Oh yeah.
Because I saw a couple people do it and then a bunch of people did it after I did it.
Yeah.
And so
I did that. Yeah. After I saw you.
Yes. So definitely, I mean, like technically it's stealing ideas. If you know someone who like created it, definitely give them credit. But if it's just like a general trend going around, hop on the trend and it will get you more exposure because it's trendy in the moment. Yeah.
Because also people want to see like your name is books. One, they'll see your name, but also they'll see like what books you would recommend based on that. Because it's tricky sometimes. And you have like, I have 2 vowels in my name.
Yeah.
That's hard to try and find like
I
an
have
O
3
and
vowels in my name.
An O and an I. But then I only have
J was impossible.
Oh yeah, that's true. That one's a hard one.
It's so hard. Yeah.
T was easy because a lot of the whatever, but
but it is fun to see your friends like jump on trends and like that you've done and see different spins on it. And it's I don't know what word I'm looking for. It can be easy to only post popular books, because popular books get views. So my Iron Flame photo got over 1,000 likes. And then turn around the next day, my photo of this indie book that I'm really excited to read got 150 likes. And so I could just spend my time posting the bestsellers. And the more people note, oh, I read that book, I like that photo, like it. That's not staying genuine to my content though. So like I would say you can post the popular books and that can get you likes. But make sure you're still posting like what you like, because that's gonna what draws people to your account.
Like if you only read traditionally published books, good for you. Post those. Great, fine. Totally fine. But if you only read indie books, don't be like discouraged when you see someone else post traditionally published, because it's like those obviously already have more exposure because they're traditionally published in all these stores. You know what I mean? So like literally just post what you want. If you only read female books, okay, fine. Just do literally whatever sparks your creativity.
Because you're going to burn out really fast if you don't.
Yeah. Like literally just do your own thing. That's all I can say. It's I will tell you, it's still hard not to compare. I mean, you compare yourself and it's hard not to sometimes.
I mean, that's human nature.
Yeah. Just go into it having fun. It's the same thing for YouTube. So with YouTube, it's more of like, you probably have to show your face. Like you're taking that step. You want to show your face. And that's what I did. And I'll tell you, right, every single person's first video is awful.
I've privated my first 2 years.
I want to go back and do that because some of my first videos and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Girl.
I mean, my lighting's horrible. I don't sound as natural talking to the camera.
My voice is so high like this.
I need to go watch this.
Oh my God. It was so bad.
I mean, you're going to be awkward and it takes time. It takes a lot of practice. But the best intro to YouTube is 100% the BookTube newbie tag.
That's one of my first videos that I did.
Do that video. Maybe do a book haul, or
it can be an ebook haul too. Like if you don't have physical books, there's a lot of people
that library haul. These are all the books that I've recently
bought or got received. You know what I mean? Or you can just do ebook hauls. Like Avery or Ava, she does ebook hauls. Yeah. Like all the books that
we do our KUTBR all the time. That's just a Kindle Unlimited haul.
Yeah. So you don't have to do like physical books when we say book haul. It can literally be a digital and or like borrowed books. Yeah. Yeah. But like those could do really well too. Doing vlogs where people see like what you're reading and in the moment that you're talking about things.
And vlogs show a lot more of your personality. So like you can insert a little bit more about your life sometimes or show like you going to a store or like going to a park to read. Like you can really change
Tiffany does that.
Does she?
Well, she'll go all around Vegas.
She does, yeah.
And she'll just like sit in this cute little cozy
and just record you reading somewhere. So you don't have to spend money to like even do a vlog. You can just go.
That's like more of like the content creation side. And I feel like people like obviously get inspiration just like scrolling, or if you want to start YouTube, you've probably already followed X amount of people and like you kind of had your own ideas, but like don't get caught up on the technical side of it though.
No.
Because so many people even now I know still use their phones and they edit on their phones, which I could never do that.
I hate using my phone.
But people do it and they love it. They don't want to use a computer. They don't want to use an actual camera. You don't have to. You don't have to at all. You can get a tiny ring light, set it up in front of
I will say lighting is important.
I mean, you don't want to be like, you don't want the whole thing to look like dark. You can't see yourself or like it's very muted.
So either natural light, which is really hard for me with my glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Or
I used natural light for a long time too.
I did too. That's why half my face is in a shadow because I couldn't face the camera full on. I mean, I couldn't face the window full on because then it would reflect in my glasses. So I was always to the side and it was like one side was light.
Yeah. But a lot of people still use natural light. You can use like box lights on Amazon. Like my two, the lighting now on YouTube, like all of mine is box lights. I have a ring light that I put just like for balance. You don't have to have a normal camera, like a Canon or anything like that. Like I said, use your phone. Your audio for a phone is really good. I use a mic. Like, I use a mic like this for my YouTube videos, but you don't have to. That's just because my husband has already had all this stuff. I didn't buy anything. When I started my channel, I bought lighting. That's it.
I bought a ring light probably a couple years into.
Yeah. But that's it. We had the mics.
You might want to get like a tripod for your phone, but those are like $10, $15 on Amazon.
Yeah, to hold it up.
Or I think I would just put it against a stack of books when I would film. Yeah.
But honestly, like you can make it work. Like because like when I don't know why you started your channel, but like I started my channel because I wanted to talk about my novel life, like my different life, my unique life, all of that stuff. And I wanted to talk about the different books I read because I did read a lot. I wanted to talk about like what I'm loving, what I didn't like, or like tropes that I found or new authors that I found. Like that's what I wanted to talk about to get it out there to people. And I wanted to chat with people about that. And that was the only thing, especially like none of my people in real life, like my friends, do that. You know what I mean? So it's like the only other outlet I had was on Instagram, which actually where I started, and then moved to YouTube where I could like in a video form sit down and chat. But even I had my podcast. I mean, that takes, I feel like a little bit more because audio quality is really important for a podcast because it's literally just your voice.
Yeah.
But like really you don't have to have the pretty shelves. I didn't have these pretty shelves. It took me a year or two to do this.
Right.
And that's just because I'm fortunate that like me and my husband both work and I had extra money to put into my library. But you don't have to have that. That's not what gets me views. Don't give me listen, my shelves are not what gets me the views. Like people I rarely pay attention. Yeah. I don't know. I've seen like some friends in the last 2 years grow so much because people just love the way they talk about books.
Yeah.
And that's just what people want when they watch. They just want to watch
and I mean, like, you can get very analytical at your like dashboard, YouTube Studio. Look at the trends of your own videos, what does well. Like if I know I have a book haul going up, it's going to do better than a reading vlog for a specific book, right?
Yeah.
So but all of your videos cannot be, I want this to go viral.
Yeah.
Like, again, that's going to make you burn out really fast. You're going to lose all motivation to post. Like I post for me and because I love the community. And so I love talking about people and showing what I'm reading. So just make sure that you are approaching social media and content creation for yourself.
Yeah.
You may go viral. Maybe you're going to be the next 2 million followed person on Instagram. Like that totally can happen. But that's going to be a very hard journey if that is your only goal.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like with every community, there's going to be like people that don't always like connect. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just like on Instagram, we were talking about that. So it's like when you compare yourself to someone else that you don't even talk to, you know what I mean? Just their content, you think like, oh, it may be similar. It's not you. It's the algorithm.
Yeah.
Their videos are being pushed and yours aren't for whatever reason. I don't know anything about the fucking algorithm. And it is so annoying. Like,
I mean, you can reflect on what you're doing in your own channel. Like, because we talk about that. Like, what can we do to like keep things more creative and just exciting on our channels?
Yeah. But, like I started doing doing like reset vlogs every month because I saw other people that I watched do that. And I like it. I did the spend the day with me, which is more like an ASMR, like I didn't really talk to the camera. It was just like follow me around in my day. And those didn't do the best, but they actually performed better than I expected.
Yeah.
Like, because that was just an extra video that I wanted to try out and see if anyone would fucking watch it. Even now, 3 years into my YouTube journey, I was like, let's just try it.
Yeah.
Or like I know I haven't read a historical fiction book this year, but even when I did read a lot of historical fiction, I would just talk about historical fiction books and those would do awful view-wise because I'm a romance reader at heart. Yeah. But at the same time, I still wanted to talk about those books because I love them. And even if this was me for me, if one person picked up one of the books I talked about and it changed their life in some way to where they were emotionally invested or they liked the representation, they saw themselves in a book. 'Cause I'm a big proponent of like chronic illness and disability in books. So I read a lot of those. Then that is the reason why I'm doing my channel. If one person watches my video and one person does it, like if you put 1,000 people in a room, and if that's on average what my views get, right? For me, 1,000. That's a fuck ton of people.
That is.
So I'm like, one person can pick up one of those books that I talk about or an author they've never heard of and it becomes their new favorite author and for the rest of their life they'll read them. I've done my job. That's what I want. And I've always said that, like, I think I've said that in my podcast. I said it in some of my first YouTube videos. That is the main reason. Like, of course, friendship was the second thing. But for me, it was like, I want other people to read books. Those books that I love too.
Yeah.
And I just want to share that.
And like the community is really the community is great, right? For YouTube, for Instagram, you will most likely find a group of people that you really click with and you become friends with. Yeah. Will you be friends with every single person, every single platform? No. Absolutely not. Will you maybe not get along with some people? Yes. I mean, think even if you went to like high school, did you get along with everybody you went to high school with?
No.
No. There are many pockets of friends throughout like every community. Yeah. And so just depending on who you end up talking to and really clicking with on different platforms, you can make really great connections and friendships.
Yeah. But also too, like being in this community, it opens up like other people, like friends that you talk to or followers to books that they may have not heard of and authors and other like BIPOC authors, like because we talked about this in a previous episode, traditionally published and how diversity, like it's not represented, like diverse and BIPOC authors don't really get picked up traditionally, but it's a lot of indie authors and we talk about both, obviously traditionally and indie published. But like if you're someone who only reads what's on the shelf, that's very not diverse. So if we talk about books, it could open up to something, you know, open up new authors, like I said, to like I say new authors, but like literally like diverse, BIPOC.
New to you.
Yeah. Like LGBTQ queer romances, disability romances, like everyone should be represented. So if you've ever felt like you're not, there is a book out there that like that you probably would see yourself in. You just has to find it, and you can follow creators that do that and talk about those type of books.
Well, and make sure that you're reading though like what you're passionate about and what you're excited for. And I know there's people who might say, and I mean like it's fair if I post a vlog reading like I'm reading TikTok hyped books, like that's probably gonna get a lot of views. But I, like you said, really love finding authors and giving that recommendation that people might not have found before. And that like I absolutely love. Like you, when you finished Unsteady, I've never heard of this author before.
It's her first book.
Corinne.
It's her first book.
I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Like of course I want to read that. That isn't to say though like you can't read the hype books. Like if you want to make a video all about, I don't know, Lauren Asher. Like, does people know who she is? Absolutely.
Oh, I'm a ride or die for Lauren Asher.
Like, do I still want to know your opinion on that book? Yeah, because people are watching you for your personality and for you. And so, I mean, like, I literally did a vlog on Iron Flame. Everybody and their mother is reading Iron Flame.
But I wanted to put my voice, like
that's my own spin on that book and my own opinion on it.
Because it's interesting. Everyone can read a book and get something completely different out of it. Doesn't matter what genre. That's across every genre, right? But with romance too, you can read a book and people could like the romance the best. People could like the main male character the best.
Yeah.
Some people can like the female character the best, or the side characters, or the world, or the town. You know what I mean? Like they could like a book for different reasons. And I'm like, that's what I love to hear. I want to know why you liked the book. And like your reasonings behind that, or what you didn't like what didn't work for you. Was it the trope? Was it the writing style? First point of view, third point of view, all of that stuff. Like I love to know that because it's interesting. But also I've said this too, was like Peyton Curran, I reached out to her. She didn't follow me. I followed her because that's how I found the book. But I told her, I was like, this was a beautiful book. And I kept going on and on. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm fangirling. This is me who technically, I guess you would consider me an influencer. Me going to an author on my knees saying, I love this book. You're my savior. Yeah. And she was like, no, this is the best part. Yeah. She's like, this is why I put out this book. Because I also read her author's note, and that really got me too. Because authors get personal in their author's note. Yeah. And I was like, oh, she went through a lot writing this book, and I was like, I don't do this with every author, but I was like, I need to reach out and tell this author that this was really good.
So that's why I also really love Instagram, is that it really lets you make those kind of connections with the authors. And I'm not necessarily going to say you're going to become best friends with authors, but like just messaging them and saying this book meant so much to me and I really loved it. And that makes them like, that can make their whole day. And that really is why they're writing, is to touch and reach readers like you. And so, and not only should you not be scared to message like other people, but
tell the author why you loved your book. Like Chloe Leese though, I've talked to her since I've been reading the Bergman Brothers, right? Since Always Only You. That book changed my life. And that's been 2 years since I've read that book. I never met her in person until Book Bonanza this year, and I sobbed reading. Like I sobbed meeting her.
And she recognized you.
She recognized me. She also cried because I've messaged her so much and told her how much not only that book but her whole series, what it's done for everyone. Like she's one of the first people I've seen that does like chronic illness and disability so much in a series. Like it's not just one book or whatever. So it just means a lot. And so I wanted to reach out and tell her. Same thing with Katie Ryan, Writing Real. I will still talk about that book. I would still message her and be like, this book is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, don't be scared to do that.
Don't tag them in negative reviews.
Don't tag them.
That. Yeah. And don't be mad if they don't respond, because I will say the bigger an author gets, it's very overwhelming to be on their social media. Yeah. Because they have so many people tagging them and messaging them. And so.
Well, Peyton Curran has 25K on Instagram. Yeah. And when I messaged her.
First book?
Yeah. I don't know what she did before. I don't know how she hyped it up. I don't know. But like, when I messaged her, I fully expected her not to see that message. Like I just fully, because I know it goes into her request. So I'm like, okay, how often does an author check the request? You know what I mean? So I never expect that. But are you looking her up now?
Yeah. Oh, I follow her.
I told you to follow her after we were looking up when we did our top 100 on Amazon. She was on it, I think, something like that. But yeah, it's just, there's do's and don'ts. Obviously, don't tag authors in shitty reviews. If you don't like a book, that's fine. You can say you didn't like it for your following. You do not need to tag an author in that to tell them.
Right. And I guess it's up to you how you want to approach what you're talking about, because I don't love being overly negative about books. Yeah. So I don't post like a lot of negative content. Now, to be fair, that does amazing in views if you post controversial and negative content.
Well, people just love to watch that.
100% up to you.
Polarizing.
And what you're looking for out of the platform. Yeah. I find joy in being excited and talking about what I love, and I really hate tearing people down and tearing books down. Yeah. Obviously there's special circumstances, like anytime you talk about Lightlark, you get a little heated. I get a little heated, yeah. I'm not constantly like making negative videos. People do, and that's their whatever choice you want to do.
Yeah, that's their choice of where they want it to go.
But personally, I find much more joy in sharing the things that I love. And especially just in reading. Like I would get so burnt out if I was just reading books to hate on them, because I have read for enjoyment and joy for so long.
Another thing I want to say though is don't read for how many books I can read in a month. If you read 2 books in a month, that's okay.
But also don't let people get you down when you do read a lot.
Because I get annoyed. We used to read 30, 40 plus books a month. Yeah. And people would be like, how the fuck can you read that much?
And stop making reading a competition. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
It's like, no, I'm not. I'm talking about all these books. And that was when I was reading, like over half my books were 5-star reads. every month.
Really?
Yeah, I was reading a lot of good books. I was catching up on authors' backlist, like Lisa Kleypas's backlist, and you know, all these people that I love. So of course I was loving those books. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So don't think of it as a competition. Like, it's not. No. If you read 1 or 2 books, that's fine. If you don't read any books in a month, but then you read 5 the next book, fantastic. Yeah, that's okay. Everyone has life. Everyone has things that happen. Everyone, you know, can't spend time. They don't have money to spend on audiobooks, and their library might not have them, so they have to only physically read them on their Kindle, and that's okay. Right. You don't have the time to. Don't think like you just to become on Instagram, on like Bookstagram or YouTube, that you have to read 50 books a month or 40 books a month. Like, I barely hit 20 books now, and I'm okay with that.
I mean, and that's a lot compared to some people. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to read a certain author. You don't have to read a certain amount of books. No, just do what you want to do.
Yeah. Talk about what you want.
Yeah.
How you want. Have your own rating system. People have like a 1 to 6 star rating system.
So, and I'll just name Fit Teacher Rachel. It's hilarious how often she has to come on and just say, I know it makes no sense, but I'm doing what I want to do. She has like a 15 scale. So she'll be like,
15 out of 10. That's the max.
Yeah. So it's like out of 10, but she'll be like 10 out of 10. But that's not a 5-star read. 15 out of 10 is a 5-star read.
And so I think she said something as like a 15 out of 10 is like a top of the top 5-star. A 10 out of 10 is, I think, a 4-star, she said. It was like 10 to 15 is a 5-star.
And she's just doing whatever she wants.
Yeah. But when I look at her ratings, it makes sense to me.
I'm like, oh my God, she rated a 13 out of 10. That must be a good book.
Exactly. But if she rates something like a 9 out of 10, I'm like, oh, that's still a good book though. Yeah. Like, but if that was on the top, maybe I push it back just a little bit. Like, I still want to get to it, but I'm like, okay, maybe
and
I'll
like, we've had friends, and I don't think you do it, who have created a 6-star book. Yeah. And so do whatever you want. I mean, you might have to explain it. So she has like a highlight saved explaining her rating system, because it does confuse people. But she's not going to change because she likes doing what she does.
The 6-star thing does make sense. Like, if I talk about the Boys of Tolman series a lot.
That's like a 10-star book for you.
That would be like my 6-star book. Yeah. But that doesn't take away like of Twisted Games being a 5-star book. Right. Like, there's both of those books technically are 5 stars, but for some reason the Boys of Tolman just makes me more emotional. But like the writing and everything, like, it still is really good. Like, I think people do the 6-star thing for like the emotions that it brings out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the attachment that you have to the characters or the story or the romance or whatever. I think that's what kind of people do it. Like Magnolia. Those are like 6-star reads for me, if I had to like use that as an example.
I think one of the last things I do want to touch on is your name you choose, because you probably will be stuck with that name. I mean, I've seen people rebrand
Peaceful Books,
but I love my name.
Okay.
Live a Novel Life on some platforms, but then Novel Life on other
platforms.
Because
Novel Life was fucking taken.
So we would recommend keeping it consistent across platforms. So if you have to add, like, I had to add XO to the end because Peaceful Books was taken by someone. Yeah. Keep it consistent. Check to see if it's used already. Yeah. But do something that you think will represent you as a reader well. So maybe that has romance in the title. It could have your name in the title. You explained what it was.
Crystal's Bookish Life. Yeah. You know exactly what you're getting at Crystal's show.
Even our podcast name.
They have the Bookish Life of Jess and Tori.
Not that like groundbreaking. No. But we were like, we both now literally have Bookish Lives. We work in the book industry.
Listen, my channel name was going to be Novel Novels.
That is bad. I don't think I've ever said that before. That is bad. I've never known. I was having,
so like Brandon obviously knows a lot. He's like, you need to have a brand. You need to start with a name.
Because he works in marketing.
Yeah. He was like, people are going to have, like, that's how they're going to know you. They're not going to know you by Tori. They may know you after, but they're going to know your channel name. So like, Live a Novel Life is my tagline in my videos. I say like, I hope you're living a novel life. Whatever that may be, like, whatever that means, because that's what it comes from. But I shortened it to Novel Life because that was the name of like the blog that I had previously in my podcast. So that's why my YouTube channel is called Novel Life. It's not Tori's Novel Life. Yeah. It's just Novel Life, right? Because that's a mix of like personal stuff, and like my Patreon is Tori's Novel Life because it's a little bit more personal. But like my YouTube or my Instagram and my TikTok name is Live a Novel Life because Novel Life was taken. But I did it as my tagline, so you could still like kind of you can piece it together.
And those platforms weren't necessarily there when you started, so you're like, oh, I only have one platform to worry about.
Yeah, like I just had Instagram and YouTube, but I started Instagram first. Yeah, and that was always Live a Novel Life.
But like, take the time to think about your name. That's probably one of the hardest things.
Like Zay's is Witty Reads. I love that. Yeah, I just love that.
Yeah, and people are gonna know you, like you said, by your name and not your personal name. Like, how many Tories are there in the book community?
There's a lot.
How many Jesses are there in the book community?
There's a lot. That's why we say Jess and Honest Fiction, Jess Peace Love Books, because like, which Jess are we talking about?
Right.
I talk about both of you guys a lot. So
right. And so whatever your platform name is going to become you.
Yeah. Like Rachel, Fit Teacher Rachel.
Yeah.
She's not a teacher anymore.
No.
She still exercises. Yeah. And she has her name, but she talks about mostly books.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm not changing it. It's my brand now.
Yeah,
what she said. Yeah. And so, I mean, you can rebrand like our friend Ava did.
Yeah.
And it could be for whatever reason you have. You can.
Yeah.
But
I thought about rebranding, but I'm not going to change my name. I love my name.
Yeah.
Yeah. It fits now.
Yeah.
I even have a sign up there that says Not Alive. So.
I need to get one. That's really cute.
Yeah.
But mine's so long. I
Peace
feel
Love
like.
Books XO.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It was long. Yeah.
PLB XO.
No.
Peace, love, and Oxford, comma. But I really hope that this is a helpful episode to someone also. It was a little all over the place. It was a little all over the place, but that's kind of how it goes with podcasts. But
if you have any questions you want us to answer, leave them
in the comments on YouTube. If you follow us on our Instagram, our podcast Instagram, you can message us there. You can message us on our normal Instagram. But like we said, if we don't follow you, right, and you have a question, that's fine. It'll just go into our requests. I will try to make sure I check mine. I don't know how often you check yours.
Always.
I always forget that it's there because it doesn't pop up like with a notification.
Yeah, it does.
Mine doesn't.
Oh, well, I don't look at my notifications. I look in messages to see if I have any.
No, like it doesn't even show a one for me. So that's why I have I have to go into a different folder.
Yeah.
So it's very weird. So we're going to try and get to it. So we're not ignoring you, I promise. But yeah, literally ask us all these questions. Yeah. We literally don't care. I hope you enjoyed this episode. What kind of emoji?
A camera.
A camera emoji or a phone emoji.
Yeah.
One of those. Because we're talking about...
Or a microphone.
Yeah. Those are good ones. But if you're on Spotify or Apple, leave us a rating. Tell us what you thought of the episode. It was a long one. I hope you enjoyed it, though. Yeah. We're a little chatty. Now I'm hungry. We need to go get dinner.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go get good food. We always get good food when you're here.
Of course.
But...
Thank you for listening and watching. We hope you enjoyed our bookish life. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.